Okay, so I am off to my very first Jazzercise class. I've been meaning to do this for forever and a day, so I'm so excited to give it a go. And one of the reasons that I'm so excited is because aerobics, right? Most people think of aerobics as things like Jazzercise. And that's because Judy, Jazzercise Judy, she's the one who created Jazzercise, was, inspired by Dr. Kenneth Cooper's book from 1967, I think the book came out, Aerobics. So I'm really excited to see what kind of aerobics and cardio zone numbers I get from the 60-minute cardio zone class. Cardio Sculpt class. So here we go. Okay guys, so Paul and I just finished Jazzercise. Yes, Paul went with me and we had actually a really great time. So we met, the thing with Jazzercise, and I understand why people stick with it, is the people that were there had been doing it like religiously for like 30 something years. And I met this woman who was, what was she, Paul? 94?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she looked like she was 70. She drove herself there, lives on her own, happy, healthy, amazing. And she'd been doing it, like she said, I think 30 or 40 years. So, I mean, that just goes to show that, out of all the group fitness classes that I've taken so far, this group of people was the happiest. And I think the reason for that is that it is actually cardio. And that idea of mood boosting and how it just kind of it helps you out was really obvious in a Jazzercise class, no matter what you think of Jazzercise, if you'd never take it or not, or if you would never take it because it's whatever. I understand that, but you got to give it a little props and praise for what it was. Fun fact, which you might not know, is that Jazzercise at one point was the second largest franchise in the United States under Domino's Pizza. That's insane. So this is no small business that she started, and it's hugely successful and it's been going strong, I think, for like 50 or 55 years at this point. So, and she's keeping all these people really healthy and keeping them alive. So I think that's really cool. So my numbers, I got 44 total zone minutes in the 60-minute class. And Paul, I think you came down a little less, right? You got 28 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So I'll have to show you the numbers on the screen. I'm driving, so I can't completely look at the screen. But I think I got around 18 Vigorous and
that's right.
something like that. And I think you got like 9 Vigorous. And I think the difference is that I could follow it a lot easier. The lady, the instructor faces you. So it was a little harder for you to follow, right, Paul?
Yeah.
So it was a little bit more complex. A lot of the people know the patterns because, like I said, they've been doing it for like 30 years. And even I can follow things pretty well. I was even having a little tough time kind of following along. But I was able to kind of understand that she was more skipping in place. So there was a lot of almost like running in place in the class. So when we do HupSix, which is interesting, you always get more than me, right, Paul? Like you always get like 50 plus minutes every time we do HupSix in a 30-minute workout. And today you only got like 28 minutes. So I think that was just because you had a tougher time following it, for sure. And the note about both of us in terms of our Vigorous minutes was they were both in zone 3. So when we do HupSix, we get always kind of peek into zone 4 and 5. So, HupSix still delivered more cardio in less time, right? Because this class was 60 minutes and I got 44 minutes. And it was 60 minutes and Paul it was 28, right?
Yeah.
So, so Paul usually gets 60 minutes or 50 to 60 minutes because he's insane. He always does incredible with HupSix. Only thing that I would say is a few people that we did speak to, yes, they look great and they're happy, but they all had, I think the 3 or 4 women that we spoke to all had double knee surgeries from doing this for so long. And I know why. There's a lot of pivoting and twisting, and our other company, the DanceSocks, we sell them to a lot of Jazzercise locations. This location hadn't heard of them yet. So a few people had asked us about them. And if you are going to take anything that requires twisting and turning, dance-based fitness, you definitely don't want to do it in sneakers without the DanceSocks. And they're used, in our HupSix workouts, they're the HupSix socks. So you just want to make sure that you can easily pivot and twist and turn. Yeah, guys, thanks so much for being so nice to us. And, it is official. Jazzercise is definitely aerobics, just like they say it is. So great job, guys. Keep up the good work.